Welcome to Nutty Buddy Entertainment.
Get into our Spider-Man award show. So if you know, let's see here, what's going on. If you know me, Neil, and Elliot, we have done award shows in the past. It's been mainly Marvel Phase 1 or Phase 2 of Marvel. That's what we've done so far. We were in preparation to do Phase 3, but we were like, no, we got to get the Spider-Man one in before No Way Home. So you guys can see that good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to get into our Spider-Man award show. And so the movies we'll be considering is obviously the Raimi-verse, right? With Tobey Maguire. With the villains that include Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Green Goblin, the other Green Goblin, and Venom.
I love that it looks like James Franco is part of our... and now it looks like Dane DeHaan's part of our phone conversation. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Both the goblins. Oh.
One's a little better than the other, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. And then we got the Amazing Spider-Man will also be part of our discussion. So our Andrew Garfield with the Lizard, Electro, and the other Green Goblin. And then No Way Home. Or not No Way Home. I'm sorry. Far From Home and Homecoming Spider-Man as well. So the MCU Spider-Man. So this will be all part of our award show. So you guys ready to get into our first award?
Let's do it.
Okay.
The first award being presented today is the Put Me In Coach Award. This award is presented to the character in Spider-Man movies that you would like to see more of. And the nominees are...
Okay, so before we get into our nominees, specifically, we're going to get into some honorable mentions. So just a full behind the curtains here. Neil and Elliot both sent me a list. We all picked 3 people. I kind of condensed that list. Okay, guys, so we're not going to talk about everybody on your list. If there's someone that I missed that you guys really want to talk about that's on your list, go ahead and do it, okay? Just before we get into the nominees. But I did it in a certain order where I put a certain amount that each of them value, depending on where they are on our list. And this is what came out. So let's get into our honorable mentions. Our first one is Gwen Stacy, and this was given by Neil. Yes. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Why did you have him? Why did you have her on your list as Put Me In Coach?
She is one of my favorite aspects of the Amazing Spider-Man. The two movies we got. Mm-hmm. She was fantastic in both. She's a little bit better in the first one, but she holds up. She's the supporting structure for the second movie, which I'm not a big fan of. And I feel like her time was cut short. And I'm so hopeful because Emma Stone, wonderful, brilliant, talented performer. I would love to see her don the Spider-Gwen get up that you can see in that image there. It's a shame that we haven't got to see that in live action. I'm hopeful with some of this multiverse stuff we've got coming up, mm-hmm. that maybe there's a route back for her in a future movie. But she's just I like her. She's charming in Emma Stone is charming in anything I've ever watched her in, and I thought she was perfect as Gwen Stacy. We had Bryce Dallas Howard in the Raimi-verse, and I haven't rewatched Raimi's Spider-Man for in a long time, but she didn't make that big an impact, whereas Emma Stone is one of my favourite. I think I prefer her to MJ from the Raimi-verse, to be honest with you. She's my favourite love interest in all the Spider-Man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think she's wonderful. Absolutely love her. Bring her back, please.
Elliot, how would you have felt if we got to see Gwen don the Spider-Gwen costume?
Oh, we may have got that far. Because how many sequels did they have after Amazing Spider-Man 2 planned before? Was it because there was 3 and 4? Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4.
In an alternate time, yeah, it could have happened in 3 or 4 maybe if they did get that far. But we will never know. But it would have been nice. But obviously we had Haley Steinfeld Into the Spider-Verse take on that role. So it's a great consolation prize, and Neil's already established how amazing Haley is as a talented pop star and actress. So no more needs to be said on that front.
Yeah, very good. Sorry guys, I accidentally hit my button.
That's all right.
But we'll go into our second Put Me In Coach, and I believe this was on my list that neither one of you had.
I was going to say, so this is new.
Yeah. So I had Venom, or Eddie Brock, or Venom.
Venom.
Mainly though, and Eddie Brock. Like, I really wish in one of the two, or even the one of the three trilogies, that they would have kind of established him a little bit before. Like, I would like to see him before he becomes Venom. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a reoccurring character, kind of like they make Flash Thompson throughout the movies a reoccurring character. I would like to see Eddie Brock in a movie before he becomes Venom, and kind of, you know, build that tension in that first movie with him. And I would have loved to seen that in one of the Spider-Man, you know, I guess trilogies or sequels, absolutely, or whatever. Yeah. Okay. But neither one of them made our top three nominees. So let's look at our first nominee tonight, Flash Thompson, from the Raimi universe. Just so you guys know, this is totally random. I try to do this in a certain order so we all could have an opportunity to talk, but we might let someone talk a little bit more than you know what I'm saying, because this was actually on your list, Elliot,
and Neil's as well.
Oh, that's right. So that's why it's a nominee. So I have, because I have Neil, you want to give us the reason why you think that he deserves the award for Put Me In Coach?
Absolutely. I think back to it and I feel like they've not done enough in in the MCU, in the web movies, in the Raimi movies. Not enough has been done with Flash. In any, you know, he shows up, he causes trouble for a few minutes, and then he's done. I did like the Flash Thompson in the Amazing Spider-Man. I thought he was fine. He's quite a charismatic actor, but I'm a big fan of Joe Manganiello. I'm a big fan of his in general. Again, another person with a lot of charisma. Similar to Emma Stone, I like a lot of stuff they've been in. Sometimes they're the best part of the movies they're in, but he is the best interpretation of Flash Thompson we have had thus far. And can I just add that the MCU version, great actor, my least favourite version of Flash Thompson. This is the one that I was hoping we'd get something similar to this in the MCU, and we just haven't. So with, again, the multiverse opening up, maybe there's a door open for Flash to come back and also be inhabited by the Venom symbiote at some point, which he has done in the comics and some of the cartoons. You know, I'd love to see that storyline pop up. So I'm all for it being Joe Manganiello. I'd love it to be him.
Elliot, do you feel the same way when it comes to Flash Thompson?
Especially as well, because I didn't notice originally until a couple of years ago, because he turns up at Harry Osborn's funeral at the end of Spider-Man 3. So I thought that was like a good full circle thing. Like, one of the people he used to bully, he goes there to pay his respects to Harry Osborn's passing as well. But now, given the meteoric rise Joe Manganiello has had in the last decade, obviously he's just gone from strength to strength in his career. So, but yeah, it's something we definitely could have got a lot more of, because beyond the originals, after obviously when him and Mary Jane break up at the graduations, like, we don't see him again until a couple of movies later, so we never really got to see a lot more of him. Whereas in contrast to Webb's movies and now the MCU Spidey, we see a lot more of Flash Thompson in comparison. So that is why I selected someone we would love to have seen more of.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Is it with the MCU version? I agree with you, Neil, that he's a good actor. I just think his stature doesn't reflect who Flash Thompson was in the comics, and that's part of the problem with that character.
Yeah, I thought it was because he is, you know, his character is he's kind of a. I'm trying to think of a term that I can use to describe the MCU version of Flash Thompson, but he's a bit of a D-I-C-K, really. Isn't he?
A dinkus.
That's it.
A dinkus.
Yeah, he is. Ultimately, that's it. But that is all he is. I don't find him physically imposing. I feel like Tom Holland could quite easily push him over just with with his little finger, just like knock him down. Whereas this is a physically imposing Flash Thompson.
Correct. Yeah.
This is what I expect from he's broad, he's built like the side of a barn. That's what he is meant to be. And
I wouldn't want to fight him either.
I wouldn't want to fight him either.
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys. Okay, let's go to our next one. We'll let Elliot take this away. So this is Kurt Connor from the Raimi-verse, who is supposed to be Lizard, but we never got to see that. So go ahead, Elliot, make your case for him being the winner here.
Yeah, because the movie tie-in games delved more into the villains in contrast to the movies, I suppose. Yes, in a video game and television format, you've got more time to obviously be flexible with the characters a bit more. But yeah, no, it was disappointing with the cancelled Spider-Man 4 project that never materialised. That could have been another aspect we had got where Dylan Baker finally gets to take on obviously the Lizard as Dr. Kurt Connors, and no, we never got that. Obviously, because especially with Webb taking some of the concepts that never materialised in the Raimi trilogy. Obviously, the Lizard being one of them in the first Amazing Spider-Man film. Yeah, no, disappointing. Yeah, very disappointing because it's what me and Neil immediately latched onto, and we in his first appearance in Spider-Man 2, like one arm and everything. That's a university lecturer. That never happened, and it's a shame that it didn't. Would have loved to have seen that concept come to life.
Yeah, how do you feel, Neil, about him not becoming the Lizard?
Yeah, it's one of those when Spider-Man. I wasn't fond of Spider-Man 3 when it was released, but I felt there was potential there in a possible fourth movie to do stuff that I really wanted to see Raimi cover. And you could tell he really wanted to, before Sony steps in and said, you've got to have Venom, and then this 3 has to be this. If they just let him do 3 the way he wanted, I feel like we would have got Lizard a lot sooner.
Correct.
And it was an aspect of the story I was really looking forward to seeing, having had a passion for Spider-Man in the comics as far back as the early 90s, and then the TV show of the animated show in the 90s. One of the first stories in the animated show is Spider-Man going up against the Lizard and having to deal with the duality of this man who is being poisoned by the dueling voices in his head. I would have loved to have seen that done, and we got it in the next movie. It's just a shame that the next movie was in a completely separate continuity with a Lizard that the design of which we're getting in No Way Home, and I'm still not a big fan. I know they're saying they flatten the face of Reese Ifans' Lizard because you get more expression from a flat face, but there's a way of designing a Lizard like this where you can get the expression out of him.
Right.
There's a way of doing it, and they compromised with the Amazing Spider-Man's Lizard. I would have liked to have seen what Raimi had in mind and what his visual team would have done with it, but hey ho. Maybe one day.
And it's sad because like even with the Amazing Spider-Man universe, they set these things up that get us excited, and then it's like because of lack of interest or bad movies or whatever, we don't get to see those things come to fruition. So this is one of the what ifs of the Spider-Man live action movies. Okay, let's look at our last nominee here, the Scorpion. So I'll take this one, guys. He was in a post-credit scene, and we still have to yet see him be a villain in the main movie. Part of one of the main villains in the main movie. I think he was supposed to be. Was he supposed to be in Raimi's? Or it was Vulture and Mysterio, I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Scorpion was never mentioned in the early concepts.
Yeah, but we seen him at the post-credit scene of Homecoming, and he still hasn't shown up in the MCU yet. So it's kind of like, I'd really like to see Scorpion. I like him as a villain as well. You get to see these guys when we play these video games, like on PlayStation 5, the Spider-Man video game. And it's just like, can we see a live action version of that? So he's our third nominee. Anything else to add, guys? Go ahead, Elliot.
Because he was on my list as well.
Yep.
Again, I think that's why I'm optimistic after No Way Home, because Better Call Saul has finished shooting now, and Michael Mando have a lot more free. His schedule will be a lot more free now, and hopefully he returns to actually take on Scorpion, because he's one of the main villains in Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery that we haven't seen in live action yet.
No.
And we need it. Obviously, video games and television shows have covered him, but no, not in the movies. And no, we need that. And hopefully they can bring Michael Mando back to reprise the role of Mac Gargan, but this time in a proper Scorpion outfit.
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay, you guys ready for the winner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to our winner.
The winner of the Put Me in Coach Award goes to Sam Raimi's Kurt Connor as Lizard.
Woo! Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. So, yeah, it's interesting because we're going to get him in No Way Home, but like you said, I wonder if they'll keep using him or not after that.
I hope not. I'll be honest, I want a variant that's got a design similar to the comics.
Yeah, I agree.
It's change it up. I don't hate the Amazing Spider-Man lizard, but it looks like a Goomba from the Mario movie.
It
does.
does.
No good. It's no good.
Good call. Good call. Well, did we get it right? Did Dr. Connor deserve to win the Put Me in Coach Award? Please let us know in the comments. Maybe we missed somebody. Please let us know that too. Don't forget to like and subscribe and go listen to the full podcast on the Nutty Buddy Entertainment Podcast channel. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.